So moving on to our first example, I wanted to talk about Urban Outfitters. So recently, I did a lot of research for Urban Outfitters for the Supernova Explorer 1 mission, and I thought
one of the Motley Fool's awesome newsletter services.
exactly. So I wanted to kind of just look at it for the apparel sector, and we'll kind of get more broad into the bigger department stores like Nordstrom's as well. But Urban Outfitters operates 3 primary chains. They have their namesake, Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie, Free People. They also have some ancillary brands.
And those two satellite brands, I guess, are they're the ones that are growing gangbusters right now, as I recall.
Yeah, for some years they were the ones that were providing most of the growth. Things overall for the company have slowed down. They're kind of in a recovery turnaround phase, but a big focus for the company, you'll hear multiple times in their different management calls, earnings calls, presentations that they do. They talk a lot about their weeks of inventory and managing that number. So I pulled a lot of my calculations from S&P Capital IQ, but Urban has an inventory turnover for fiscal year 2016 of 6.5 times, and then its days of inventory is at about 56.2. If you compare that to competitors, think Abercrombie & Fitch, American Eagle, The Gap, Express, they seem to be a little on. Urban Outfitters seems to be running a little bit more efficiently. The average for some of those peers is about 4.9 times or 80 days. So basically, it's taking them longer, and they're going through their inventory fewer times in a year. So, as I mentioned, with the company Urban Outfitters specifically, kind of going through this turnaround phase. By managing inventory better, basically for them, it reduces the need for them to employ markdowns to sell their goods, and obviously that has a very direct impact on their margins and on their profitability. And the company is basically kind of being trying to do or management its inventory a little better by making some strides in its supply chain by, for example, going through to a single SKU system across all of its channels. Basically, all of its products now, whether you see them in store or online, they're all identified by that same SKU number. And this is basically fostering the idea of the omni-channel strategy that you hear so many retailers employing now. The idea that you want to give a shopper or a customer the ability to buy whatever it is that you're selling whenever and however they want. So whether they're in your store, whether they're at home on their computer, or they're in your store like on the app, which is something that's becoming very common, where a shopper will go into Urban Outfitters and they'll interact quite a bit due to like these beacons that the stores employ. They'll ping your phone if you're a participant and you have the Urban Outfitters shopping app, and gives you special offers. A lot of people end up shopping online while in store. So it's really like blending all these different channels.
I'm really curious, since we're talking about inventory management, I'm very, very curious what inventory days and just how much stores are going to have an inventory in 2 decades. Like, how many things is Urban Outfitters and Macy's and JCPenney and Walmart, how many things are going to have on the shelves? Because you hear all these retailers talking about their omni-channel strategy, and what it's going to entail is having a huge, I hate to bring them up again because you talk about them every time we talk about retail, but Amazon, you're going to have a huge Amazon-like distribution facility. That'll filter out to the stores, but they're not going to have every size and every color of shirts and stuff. I mean, they're just not. It's not worth it.
Well, also another example, more specific to the apparel sector, you look at a company like Zara, which is known as this like fast fashion, very successful. And the thing, something that they stress is that they keep inventory levels pretty slim, and when they ship out a new collection, for example, to stores, they do so on a very limited basis. And this not only allows them to manage inventory very well, but also add some exclusivity to the new products that come out. So there's a bit more, the elevated demand from shoppers when they think, oh, I might not be able to get this next week if the store's going to be sold out, and that's all they're going to have. And so moving on, still within apparel, but also to some of the bigger stores, I wanted to talk about like Kohl's, JCPenney, TJX companies, Macy's, Nordstrom. So larger chains actually tended to have lower turnover and more inventory in hand. They average about 3.9 times in 104 days. And
so these things are sitting on the shelves for 3 months. I mean, yeah.
So it's just interesting. So basically, it would take them about 104 days to sell through everything that they have. So it's very interesting that the bigger stores are actually, the numbers are a little less efficient, you could call it, but not that surprising.